Okay, so what we're looking at now is task 2. We're looking at cause and effect kind of style of essay. So what caused the problem, and then also what sort of solutions. Okay, so your body would sort of be, you would have your introduction paragraph, you'd have your problem paragraph, you would have your solution paragraph, and then you would have your conclusion. Okay. So I think there's been a slight issue here in the fact that the question I've been given is about losing interest in teaching, but the answer that this candidate has written is about researching your own family. So I'm going to assume that this has just been put in the wrong section, and that this person was answering whether it's a positive, negative development to try and find the history of your own family. So if this is, I'm not really sure what sort of happened with this candidate's answer. If this is actually their introduction or not, because this is literally just the question. So I'm assuming that this is the actual question that they were answering, whether it's positive or negative to research your own family. I would say if anyone is looking at this and thinking this is how you start an IELTS essay, that is not the case. If this was the introduction, you don't just repeat the question, okay? So I think this is the actual introduction. That more and more people are into researching their family history as well as background. I believe this trend is spurred by technological advancement and will be beneficial to both individuals and nations. Okay, so they've given the thing about why it's happened, that's great. And then they've given their opinion, it's going to be beneficial. Okay, so it's a very solid introduction, nothing really wrong with it. It's given me an opinion, which I like, and it's given me a specific reason or cause, which I also like. Okay. So firstly, the leading reason people are interested in their family history is that they can be provided invaluable resources by tracking the information of the kind of lifestyle their forefathers possessed, or the series of ailments they suffered from. The series of ailments. It's just a funny phrase in English because it's quite old-fashioned. To suffer from an ailment sounds like something you would do back in the 1800s. So it's kind of suitable for talking about family history, because it's like, yeah, I wonder what series of ailments my great grandfather suffered from. Okay, that is to say, people can facilitate these precious sources, especially the medical history of ancestors, to predict the potential vulnerabilities for diseases within the family tree. These precious sources, especially for diseases within the family tree. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, this is a good logic. Nothing wrong with this. In fact, due to technological development, particularly the outstanding achievement in the medical science field, particularly outstanding achievements in the field of medical science, it is highly possible that it can provide accurate statistical information about our ancestors' history to the general public, or about their ancestors' history to the general public at reasonable prices. Thus, people have more access to research by examining family backgrounds in order to improve their well-being. Okay, reasonable prices, examining family backgrounds, technological development, statistical information, ancestors. This is all great vocabulary, very good grammar, well argued, logical, makes sense. I can follow what they're saying. So next, when it comes to benefits, several aspects can be discussed. To begin with, from an individual point of view, we can significantly benefit from acknowledging our ancestors' medical history. Take, for example, if a person finds out that his or her grandmother had suffered from cardiovascular-related diseases for an extended period, he or she can reduce the risk factors by cautiously composing their daily nutrition with a low cholesterol, low salt diet, or any other safety measures that can be taken into consideration in order to avoid family-related diseases. Okay, this is great. Cardiovascular, fancy words. I like it. Here, risk factors, nice. Cautiously composing daily nutrition. I wonder if the person who's writing this specializes in medical or is trained to be a doctor or something, because this is quite interesting that they know all this vocabulary. Moreover, on a national level, this trend in which people are inquisitive about their family history, inquisitive, nice word, can also economize the government budget. Economize, I think, a slightly odd word choice here. For instance, if the public's general health status improves, it can not only reduce the cost of medical care, but also boost further national tax revenue by retaining high-functioning human resources. High-functioning human resources. It's quite a callous way of describing as people. I'm not a resource, I'm a person. It's kind of rude. It can also help, I economize, or, economy. Okay, I'll give you economize. But yeah, this is interesting. It's an interesting take. Is it logical? I'm okay, potentially more people could find out about their medical history. Is it going to save the government money because people are going to eat better diets? Like, I'm not totally convinced. But it's explained. He's logical. I don't necessarily agree, but grammatically and task-wise, it's pretty good. In conclusion, considering what advantages are brought both individuals and nations, what advantages this has brought residents, I firmly believe researching your family history. I believe the increase in researching your family history is a positive development. Okay, so that's the sort of that's the sort of most major problem I found in the essay so far, is that they referenced it, but it's in the first sentence, so I don't know what it is referring to. So I think this was pretty great in terms of task achievement. Well explained, well argued, logical. They expanded well on all their points, and they really went into detail. So they said, okay, we benefit from knowing the medical history. And then they took us on this really long journey explaining exactly why and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and how this is going to help us. So in terms of, in terms of expanding, extending and explaining your points, they did really well. Coherence and cohesion. I didn't agree with them, but it was logical. It was organized well. It was structured well. Vocabulary was great, specific to what they were talking about. Sure, there were some issues with the grammar occasionally, but nothing super major and nothing that really stopped me understanding what they wanted to say. They used some really nice series of ailments, medical science, ancestors, reasonable prices. Yeah, that was really great. So overall, I want to give them a 7.0 for this essay. It was enjoyable for me to read, enjoyable for me to mark, and I think this candidate did a really good job on it.